Hi folks, Thomas Henson here with thomashenson.com, and today is another episode of Big Data, Big Questions. And so today's question comes in from a user, and it's going to revolve around what technologies you need to know to learn data science. So what are the technologies and the basic things that you need to know before you get into data science? So find out the answer to that question right after this. So today's question comes in. So this one came in from my website. So thomashenson.com, big questions, and I'll answer those questions here on YouTube. You can also put those in the comment section below. But today my question comes in from Deepak, and it says, "Hi Thomas, I'm interested in learning data science. Is there any prerequisites to learn big data related things like Apache Hive, Spark, Pig, etc.? Regards, Deepak." Well, thanks for your question, Deepak. This is one thing that I get a lot of questions around that. It's like, okay, so if you want to be a data scientist, what are the technologies that you need to know in big data? Do you have to know HDFS? Do you have to know these other pieces? And actually, I've broken down a little bit the differences between a data scientist and a data engineer in this video here. So make sure you check that out too. But I'm going to answer the question around what I think is the prerequisites to understanding data science. So it's really going to depend on the job that you're applying for, right? So if you can be a data scientist without ever touching big data. So, data science is associated a lot with big data, and that's, something that's really popular. But in reality, we've been doing data science and data analytics for a long time. The difference has been in the last 10 years, we've really shifted with the commodity drop in compute power and the ability to store the data, and Hadoop and the other projects in the Hadoop ecosystem, we've been able to do these experiments on a larger scale. And so that's where big data and data science kind of meet. And that's why, a lot of people automatically assume data science, they think of big data. So first off, you need to know, are you applying for a data analytics job that maybe their stack is not using Hadoop and they're not familiar with it, or it's just not something that they're doing right now? Or you're applying for a job where they already have Hadoop and some of the other pieces in there. So I think having some basic knowledge is going to help you. But I will say, I'm going through it right now. There's a course on Coursera that talks about machine learning, data science. I think the prerequisites for data science, if you're just starting out blank, what you're going to want to focus on, you're going to want to focus on the math portion of it. So you want to be familiar with some of the algorithms and the tools that are using. But the data scientist, their role is really going to be in training these models and finding out, is there a correlation? Might we be able to predict or prevent or have some kind of outcome by looking at this data and running it through our different algorithms, or maybe incorporating new data? So to answer your question, I don't think it's as important for you to know. I wouldn't spend a lot of time learning Apache Spark, Hadoop, and the other pieces. I think having some kind of basic familiarity is going to help you, but you're really going to want to focus on understanding machine learning, understanding the different algorithms, maybe how they apply in different software packages. But for the most part, you're going to be looking at the data, running small experiments. Then once it's time to go live, and if you're in a big data environment, you're going to expand those experiments out. So, if you're starting off at the base, one of the things I would do is I would look at Octave or MATLIB and just start toying around with it, maybe even Python. One thing, so from a data engineering perspective, me and another group of coworkers, we're actually, if you can find us on bigdatabeard.com, we're actually going through week by week the Andrew Ng's machine learning course on Coursera, and we're actually doing a recap each week on that. So we're coming in from a data engineering, infrastructure, software engineering perspective, not a data science perspective. And so you're kind of learning along with us and seeing how we're kind of approaching it, because we're not data scientists. So from a data engineer's perspective, we have the understanding of Hadoop and Spark and some of the other pieces, but we don't have a lot of the math. And so if you're just starting out, if you're already, into data science and some of the other pieces, then yeah, maybe learning some of the basics. But the most important thing is going to be that math and understanding how those algorithms and how to apply those and which ones to apply. So that's all for today's episode of Big Data, Big Questions. Thanks for the questions. If anybody has any questions, first, make sure you go and subscribe. So first thing, go subscribe so that you never miss an episode, never miss me answering a question. But also, put those questions in the comment section below. Use the hashtag on Twitter, Big Data, Big Questions. I'll answer those questions, or go to thomashenson.com/big questions, and I'll answer those questions for you on here. Thanks again, folks.